have a safety with the fire department. And what that is, we'll go there and we'll explain what we expect from them and ask them what they expect from us.
And it's an important part of our air care program is the education for all the fire departments, where they will go out there on an annual basis and give the training to the fire departments as far as the landing zone requirements, what we're looking for. Because when we take off out of here, we'll have the coordinates going to the accident scene that they've given to our comm center. We plug that into our GPS. That's going to get us out to the accident scene. And before we land, we will talk to the ground person in charge of the accident scene, and they will give us a landing zone description. And they'll tell us about all the obstacles, what we're going to be landing on, the type of surface, and things like that. And then as crew members, as a pilot and the medical crew members, we are going to be verifying that information and then looking on the ground, making sure that it is clear and it's something safely that we can land into. We always have the right to call it off at any time as far as if we feel like we should not land in that LZ. And so we'll go and we'll land in there, and after we've gotten that information from the landing zone commander, and then we get on the ground, and our medical crew does takes care of the patient, and then we get him back in there. And that LZ commander does a very good job of, and as part of our training, is making sure that that landing zone is safe and secure from bystanders. A lot of times we may be going landing on highways. We need to ensure that traffic is not going to become a factor, because we may sit there running in the helicopter as the pilot, and then the nurse and the doc are getting out while the helicopter is still running. They're going to take care of the patient, and the pilot's just sitting in there with a running helicopter. And we need to make sure that that landing zone stays secure, and that's where the fire departments do a great job of keeping everyone away from the running helicopter, and so that way we can complete our task and do it in a safe manner and get that patient into the needed care that is required for them.
We would like to have 100 by 100 feet clearance, okay, when we go to an LZ.
We'll land in people's backyards, on roads, and things like that. And so, part of that educational training that we do is, they're looking for those items. And even at night, when they're going to look at the landing zone, they're not only looking on the ground for objects that might be flying up, but then they're also looking at hazards up in the air, where we tell them to, take their flashlight, shine it up, because there may be wires going from the house out to the road that may not be, easily seen. And that's something that, as crew members, they look at the LZ from the ground, but then we also have a different perspective from the air, and we verify that information. And they may not have seen that wire, but it's still on us as we're coming in the LZ to ensure that that's a safe landing zone for us to get into.
We go over things such as when I'm en route to an LZ, I will call the LZ commander on the radio, and I'll tell him I'm 5 minutes out and I need an LZ description and patient information, whether it's a road, a field, whatever. Maybe be landing at a hospital. Maybe they just went to the hospital. And then I want hazards, and hazards will include wires, towers, just anything that could be sticking up out. Actually, a lot of the times you'll have sticks and stuff sticking up in fields. What they usually do there is they'll put like a vehicle or put somebody out there. Night's very critical, because on a low illumination night, you can't really see anything hardly out there. So we have to do everything real nice and slow. And now we have night vision goggles at Air Care, which is really helping a lot. But we're still going to do everything the same. We're going to go into the LZ, do a nice high recon, then we're going to come in nice and slow, even on the landing, like we always do. If somebody sees something that we didn't see on the ground, they can always go, hey, okay, our rate of descent is so slow, we can add power and just go around. And that's happened a few times, and it's going to happen. And the reason we haven't had a bad accident is because we do everything nice and slow, and we train our pilots to make sure you have plenty of power and be looking. So
I think it's driven in from the very beginning of when you become helicopter pilots. The ability to land anywhere with a helicopter it becomes second nature. Of, okay, if I'm going to land in a field or someplace, I'm going to verify, make sure that there is, you know, the landing zone is secure. There's not any obstacles and things like that that are going to be a problem when we go in there to land. So I think it becomes second nature as far as checklists. Now there is training that we do because with our residents, the doctors that we fly with, they're new to flying in the aircraft, and we teach them to be valuable crew members. Our nurses have vast experience. You know, a lot of them have been, I think they have an average of 18 years of experience, and so they have that knowledge now in order to ensure that our doctors, the less experienced ones, as they start to fly with us, we want to give them that training because we want them to be an important part of that crew, and so that way they're looking out for obstacles, they know what we're looking for, and because they can't assume that we see everything from our front right seat. They have a different perspective from the left rear, or even the nurse sitting in the left front seat. You know, she may see something that we didn't see, and so that's why it's important that we have, you know, a good working environment, teamwork to get into that landing zone. So
we, without exaggerating, it is a high-risk, high-pressure environment when we go out. We now take the R1s, those are the residents, their first year. We now start letting them just ride along and see how things go. And that is one area we've tried to improve our safety and our teamwork again, is just to start them even younger now, start them sooner. And when they get to be that R2, and now they're the doctor that's on the scene by themselves, they at least have gone through an R1 period the previous year of what is that like? What they now literally can see themselves and imagine themselves what it's going to be like the next year. And I think that's a big improvement in safety. It is a huge improvement just in the way we look at the crew picture, because now they really get that feel of you are a crew member, you have aviation responsibilities, along with other responsibilities, medical responsibilities, but you have aviation responsibilities too.
It's funny how we're all excited about doing scenes because it's new. Every time you go somewhere, they'll put you somewhere. It's a challenge, but of course we're going to do everything safe. But it's a challenge for us, and so they'll get us as close as they can to the scene. But a lot of times, if it's too, what we would call maybe too slopey, we have slope limitations in helicopters. They may have to go another quarter mile or a mile away into a flat field, which is fine. But we try to get as close as we can to the scene if it's a safe enough area. But it's a challenge every scene, and so it's something that we look forward to. And the more we do it, of course, the better. And of course, we always do it safe as we can do it. Working with the people that I work with, the professionals, whether it be mechanics, the nurses, and the doctors, that's a great part of it. They're great people to work for, and every day's a challenge and fun, and we see a lot of crazy stuff in our job. And again, it's very rewarding knowing that sometimes, probably every flight that we take is not a life-saving flight, but if we can save a life, it's very rewarding. Like I said, I flew attack helicopters in the Gulf, so my job was to blow up tanks and whatever. And so it's much more fulfilling to know that you're saving a life than have to be taking one. So I love it. That's the main thing I love about the job.
Well, I'm responsible for the maintenance on these aircraft to make sure they're in airworthiness condition. That includes the inspections, the tooling, the parts, and keeping up on all the maintenance is due. These helicopters that we have here are on what they call a AAIP inspection program. It's a progressive inspection program. So we have inspections that are due on a daily basis, that we have to look at something. Every day we do a daily on the aircraft. We look it over from top to bottom. And then if we have any other maintenance inspections that are due, we do those. Preventive maintenance is the key here. We want to try to keep things from breaking as much as we can. That's why we do all the progressive inspections, to do that, because the worst thing we can do is to be out of service. the CAMES is what we're part of, and their accreditation is very high. Well,